So the big fish are now in the NCB net. The agency today summoned the who's who of Bollywood for questioning. In fact, actor DEEPIKA Padukone has been asked to appear before the Narcotics Control Bureau on the 25th of September. Top sources have also told Republic that the actor is mounting pressure on her manager, that is Karishma Prakash. The actor is expected to leave for Mumbai shortly from Goa, where she was shooting for a film. Meanwhile, actors like SARA, SHRADDHA Kapoor, Simone Khambata and RAKUL PREET will also face the NCB's questions this week. We'll now go across to my colleague Niranjan, and we are also joined by our guests. Niranjan, over to you.
Thank you for that. Quick news updates that we'd like to give our viewers. The last bit of news update that we picked up was that DEEPIKA Padukone was going to leave anytime now. Anytime now she will leave Goa and she will take the chartered flight to Mumbai is what we've been told. Secondly, she was in a legal meeting with the 12-member strong legal team. Some top lawyers were present in that meeting. RANVEER Singh also joined that meeting. Okay, those are the pictures of Jaya Saha, A9 Select. Jaya Saha leaving NCB, and that's the reason why DEEPIKA Padukone will have to return to Mumbai soon. Jaya Saha is the reason why. And of course, she will have to blame herself for consuming drugs. But pictures of Jaya Saha leaving the Narcotics Control Bureau office in South Mumbai, the guest house. That's the guest house. Jaya Saha leaving the guest house. She could be arrested anytime. She could be arrested anytime. Unsure whether the arrest will happen today, but tomorrow she will be back at the NCB office. Will she be arrested tomorrow? But the big breaking news update that I'd like to give our viewers that the Enforcement Directorate is also probing the ownership of KWAN, and we're also hearing that top male actors will be summoned shortly. A top Bollywood producer has also come under the scanner. These are some breaking news updates that we have. Let me go across to Shweta Salini, spokesperson of the BJP, Aniket Nikam, advocate live from Mumbai with us, and Barnali Basak also from Mumbai. But Shweta, the manner in which all the names are emerging, it of course isn't limited to either DEEPIKA Padukone, Sara Ali Khan, SHRADDHA Kapoor or RAKUL PREET or just KWAN. It's just the tip of the iceberg. And now the real revelation begins, starting tomorrow when the first big name goes in. Shweta.
I think the can of worms is open now, and forget the A-listers, the B-listers and the Z-listers. I think all are going to be, nobody, the constitution is the same for everyone, the law is the same for everyone. I would rather suggest, and in fact personally I also feel that these people are the people, we call them hero and heroines because, you know, the youth look up to them. So I would have been extremely amazed if one of these people would have stepped up and said, yes, I committed a mistake. And the law has a provision for that. You can undergo de-addiction, but you need to set an example. But what we are looking at today is because the set of people and the elite class only believe in selective narratives. One, they are creating selective narratives, but nobody will be able, they will have to face the music because nobody will be able to escape NCB with the kind of proofs that they have. The WhatsApp chats have gone through CFSL and have been attributed to being absolutely 100% right, and hence they have full proof against most of the so-called A-listers. Now the choice lies with the people of Bollywood. Like many have chosen to say that the thali, we don't want to clean it. It is important that we get together. Don't politicize this matter. In fact, we understand that this is something which is a menace to the society. It's a menace to the youth, and set a good example in front of the youth by fighting it together and by assuring the youth that if there is somebody who's committed the crime and is agreeing to it, then either can go through punishment or repentance.
Yeah. The bigger story that is also emerging is how the entire nexus of stars, agencies, peddlers, and the outsider link, even the National Investigation Agency, the NIA received special powers. I don't know, in the middle of all the breaking news updates, that's one update that went unnoticed yesterday, Aniket. that under the NDPS Act, NIA officers have also been given special powers. Now, why is that important? It's important because, there is a section that is saying, we started with Sushant, but you've forgotten about it. You're talking about drugs, for God's sake. The real story and the investigation on the Sushant Singh murder continues. The CBI will meet the AIMS team in a few days from now. That meeting was scheduled to take place yesterday. That's not the point. Point is, and we have continued our investigation, but what is happening here tells you the larger story of the drug syndicate as well, and why we should all be worried. There is a terror angle that you can't rule out. You can't rule out, when you talk about drugs, Aniket, the larger story remains the number of lives that you will end up ruining, and also the terror angle, and how countries like Pakistan have been pushing in drugs into India.
We have seen that whether it is Kashmir, Punjab or certain northeastern states, when it comes to drugs, it also comes to terror along with it. So terror and drugs are interlinked with each other.
Yes.
Now, primarily the question before all of us is that these talent management agencies were running a side business. It seemed that they were running a side business of procuring contraband substances for all these A-listers. Now, the important point is whether this amounts to the offense of trafficking. Because trafficking, let me tell you, is a very serious offense, and it has got other implications also. So whether all these talent management agencies under the garb of providing services to these A-listers were also indulging in these activities of trafficking, of illicit financing of all these drug businesses. And if that is so, then whether it has overseas link to it. So all this will have to be looked into, will have to be investigated, because there is much more to the eyes than what we could see. And therefore, it is very essential that the investigating agencies must understand, comprehend, and go deep into this entire rot.
Yeah. And Barnali, whether they like it or not, we will have to ask that question. Were they drug traffickers as well? Were they drug traffickers as well? Can you deny it? Just because they're stars and talent managers, the people of the high society.
See, one thing is for sure. One thing is for sure, that law is above. This proves only one thing, that and everybody should know that law is above everybody.
Yeah.
So they cannot, escape from the clutches of law. I mean, if you're doing something illegal and you're caught, you have to face the punishment. And we all look up to, whether it's our generation or whether it's the younger generation, we all idolize these people working in Bollywood, the big A-listers, stars. We all look up to them. So they should be, of course, the trendsetters, and they should set an example. And drugs is, of course, consuming drugs. It's a crime against society. We all know that. Procuring drugs, consumption of drugs is a crime. It's illegal. So if you are consuming drugs or procuring drugs, and one thing leads to the other. Of course, we agree that the investigation started with Sushant's unnatural death, but one led to the other. But can't we wipe out the society has been, shouldn't we make an effort, and shouldn't we be happy that one thing is leading to another investigation? Look at the entire gamut of things which are being revealed right now. Can we ignore that? Thanks to media, that it is one after, and one of the panelists just said that one thing, it's not only about the consumption of drugs, it is about human trafficking also. These are all crime against society. Don't we think that we should we should collectively stop all these crimes? Who will take that effort? The law is there in the books. The law is stated. It is all there, clear, loud and clear, what is legal and what is illegal. But who should follow them? We citizens should follow them. We are the ones who should follow them. We are all aware of it. We are aware of it. And then what about the enforcement then? So if you're caught, you have to punish it. You have to face the punishment. There has to be a penance for it. You cannot go scot-free. So whether these are the Bollywood stars or whether they are just normal public, normal
I have some breaking news updates. Okay, I have a breaking news update. I'm sorry to interrupt you. The Narcotics Control Bureau officers, we are told, are at SARA Ali Khan's residence. Breaking news, first on Republic TV, that Narcotics Control Bureau officers are at SARA Ali Khan's residence. That's a breaking news update from the newsroom here in Mumbai. SARA Ali Khan has been summoned. They are at SARA Ali Khan's residence, unsure about the details of why they are there. But this is a breaking news update that we're picking up, that the Narcotics Control Bureau officers are at SARA Ali Khan's residence. Not sure whether to serve summons, unsure whether it's being searched. Okay, picking up more details that they're there to serve summons officially. There is a breaking news update coming in. You heard it first on Republic TV. 2 days back, nearly 42 hours back, 40, 48, 60 hours back, I beg your pardon, we told you that there were drug chats featuring D and K. And the D and K, we told you the contents of that drug chat, but we waited before you heard it that it was Deepika Padukone and Karishma Prakash. And now SARA Ali Khan has also been summoned. SARA Ali Khan, of course, has been named by Riya Chakrabarti. Riya Chakrabarti being investigated for the Sushant Singh Rajput case, for the Sushant Singh Rajput death. Now, look at the sequence of events. Riya names SARA. Jaya Saha is being investigated because of her proximity with Riya in the drug chats. Jaya Saha is investigated. SHRADDHA Kapoor chats emerge along with Deepika Padukone. The rot is just emerging. And as we speak, the Narcotics Control Bureau officers are at SARA Ali Khan's residence to serve summons, we are told, because the actor itself is in Goa. The actor herself is in Goa. That's the update that we have on our end. Atul, is that correct? That the actor is in Goa and they are there merely to serve summons? We have a confirmation now from Alicia that they are there, but is it only to serve summons? Atul, can you hear me? Okay, I think I lost that line. I lost that line there, but I think we are also hearing, let me go back to Shweta Salini. Shweta, we are also hearing that a top Bollywood producer is being investigated and male actors will now be summoned next. And the reason why I'm saying male actors again is because so far you've had SHRADDHA, SARA, DEEPIKA and RAKUL PREET being summoned. So, yeah, okay, Atul is live, but I'd like to go across to Shweta and get her response to it. More and more people, I think in the next 7 days are critical. Next 7 days are critical and a Bollywood cleanup is necessary. Your view, Shweta?
Absolutely. I think the cleanup is absolutely necessary. In fact, it's been an open secret throughout. I don't know, a lot of people came out in the open. Sanjay Dutt came out very openly with his drug stories. I remember reading a column by Prateek Babbar saying that my first encounter with drugs was at the age of 13. We all know how DJ Akil was caught at the Dubai airport with 1 kg of hash. So I think this has been a constant story with the so-called A-listers, the elite class of Bollywood. Now, indeed, it is time to clean up this rot. But the point is, it is important that we as a society come together to fight this menace. Because as my panelists have been saying this, that drugs never come alone. They come with terror, they come with money, they come with honey, and they come with a lot of dirt. And this is where I think it started with murder, but it has led us to another menace that the society is hitting. I'm sure the CBI and the ED will also come up with evidences for murder and the financial angles with respect to the Sushant case. But I am happy that the NCB is probing this and the government is supporting this. I feel that the Bollywood itself should come forward and support, and most of the people should come in support of cleaning, because after all, har dil ki yahi chahat ki nasha mukta ho Bharat. So this should not just be a banner line, it should be the truth that we all need to face.
Yeah. Getting in another breaking news update now that the NCB is also at SHRADDHA Kapoor's residence. That's a breaking news update. Could be procedural to serve summons to the actor as well. But I think the entire Bollywood is in shock, Aniket. I don't think anybody saw it coming. Nobody saw it coming. They thought it would all be buried. Aniket.
No, nobody thought it coming, and it is because of constant reporting that has been done by Republic Media, the inside scoop that you guys were bringing out for your viewers. You know, there was a constant pressure. Otherwise, this all would not have seen light of the day. We have seen that in 1990s, this underworld used to pump money into Bollywood to produce movies, and all these actors used to gleefully perform in those movies. We had seen Sanjay Dutt being prosecuted in the 1993 bomb blast, then sentenced, and at that point in time, there was a signature campaign that was being run by these A-listers, Bollywood at that point in time. So these Bollywoods have always had their brush with the law. However, fortunately or unfortunately, they were lucky. However, this time, let me tell you that there are WhatsApp conversations which have got great evidentiary value in the eyes of law. The burden of proof is upon all these A-listers who have got this WhatsApp conversation to explain as to why they were talking with the talent management people and why they were demanding drugs and what was the purpose behind it, because it would be otherwise presumed that it was for self-consumption, and the burden of proof lies on them to disassociate themselves with this WhatsApp conversation, which primarily seems to be a difficult task.
Okay, we'll take a short break at this point. Stay with us, Barnali. We'll take a short break and come back. I'm handing it back to you for now, Richa, as we take a short break and return to the biggest story tonight.